Alright, welcome back. Quick video. I had some people asking some questions about the jet, so I figured it'd be easier to do a quick video to kind of show you guys. I'm waiting for the gear to finish curing, or the mounts to finish curing anyways. First question to Randy down in Nashville. He's got one of these too, but unfortunately, Randy, they only come with a 3mm rod. I guess this is how the Europeans do most of their stuff. It's a 3mm rod, and it was about, gosh, probably about that long before I started cutting on it. And it's completely threaded. That's what they use to make their linkages out of. I did use this on the flaps and the elevators, but I went ahead and ordered two small titanium rods to replace the ones I made for the elevator. I just don't like it. It's a little short. Alright, I just wanted something I could use the my Sullivan clevises on. I actually took the Sullivans that I had, tapped them with a 3mm, and they threaded it. They screwed on just fine, but I just don't trust it. So I got another set. I got those on order, but I did use them for the flaps. But best thing to do, because threaded rod is flimsy, is to cut your length and then put it on the aircraft, get the size you need, and then take a piece of carbon tube. And that's what I did. I went to the hobby shop and bought a piece of carbon tube and cut it to the length, slid it over, put a little bit of high sol on it to keep it secure, and that really stiffens them up. So essentially you end up with something like that. And you're not gonna bend this thing. So I wish they come with the regular links, but I had a bunch of titanium links that I've just bought over the years. So second question was asking about the quick release, because if you guys remember, there was two ways to connect the tail. One was the way I did it, which was a semi-permanent, which is essentially just bolting it together, and then when you need to take it apart, you just remove the bolts. Well, the quick removal one is like, so you go to the field, you don't have a big vehicle, so you got to take the tail off and everything to transport it, put it together at the field, fly it, and then disassemble to bring it home. It is essentially, where is it at? Here we go. 1 second. I kind of mentioned it was like Skymaster's wing ordnance. So if you see this right here, what you do is you take and you take the hole that's already drilled in the fuselage forward half, and you cut a slit in it, just like this, and then you install kind of a bolt system on the tail. So then you just do the whole, put it in, locks into place, so then it doesn't come apart. Well, when you do that way, you actually have to glue in a couple extra things. There's a tab that goes on the bottom and a mount on the top, and it basically keeps this thing from coming up. So you push it in, lock it in, put the bolt in the top and the bolt in the bottom and the two on the top, and it keeps it from moving. So when you need to remove it, loosen the bottom screw, the top two screws, like that. So hope that clears it up. And this is the tab. Ooh, autofocus is being weird. Here it goes. So this would be glued on the bottom. So if this is the bottom of the jet, you glue this into the forward section, cut a little area out in the tail. This slides in, you run a screw up, and that keeps it from separating or moving at the bottom. And then at the top, there's two of these that glue in the top, and that's your mount for the top. So you got a top and a bottom lock for the tail section, and then the side where you insert the screw and slide it down into the lock portion, these glue into the nose section. So your round circle would be up here, your bolt comes in, and then you push down on the tail and it locks it into place. These are what you glued in instead of the wood pieces that I did, or the threaded ones that I did. So it does come with all the hardware to do it that way, but I didn't want to do it. So I don't need to remove it, but it's still removable the way I did it. You just have to remove the bolts, which honestly, it's 4 bolts versus 3, because when you do it the removing it every day, you still have to loosen the bolt on the bottom, the 2 on the top, so you got 3 bolts that you have to loosen anyways to get it to slide up. The only difference is I have to take the bolts completely out, or you take the nut off the end of the bolt. So it's about the same. It's not that much difference. Second question was for the tail. How's the rudder removable? Let me just do this. Makes it easier here. There we go. So typical stuff. You got your tube here. There's another little round another aluminum tube that you glue into the rudder, and you got to cut a hole out on the fuselage, so it's like an alignment pin. When you push that front pin in, this piece, which I still got to glue in, is actually glued on the inside with a rod going through it. So it'd be in here kind of like this. So when you push that front pin down, it's got a hole in it, and then you just push a wire through so it locks that in the front. So essentially it would be like this kind of a deal. So your pin's here, you push it down, and then that goes into place and locks. This is actually got to glue in inside the fuselage. So to remove the tail, you pull this back. Now the pin's free to move up and down, and there's a screw that is underneath the rudder itself, the control circuit. There's a little cutout right in this area right here. So you move the rudder to one side, you have access straight down. So it's secured in the back, and then this quick release thing in the front, and that's what holds the rudder on. And all this is in the instructions. When you get the kit, they will send you the instructions, or you actually get it on a disc, and it shows all this stuff. But it's a bolt and a rod to get the rudder off. So, and what else was there? Let's see. Measurement wise, I don't. Let's see. I don't have a. No, I do have a measuring tape somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. So let's do this. Steel ruler, 36 inches. So tail section is about, let's see, that's 36, 37, 30, about 38 and a half inches long for the tail section. And then the nose section is, let's see, there's 36 and 36 with another 8. So take the tail, 30, I said 38 inches, basically 2.5 of these is the nose. So it's about 100 and something inches long. So hope that helps. And yeah, that's about it. Like I said, just a quick video for you for those questions. Like I said, and the way the fuselage is, you would lift up. So and the bolts are on the actual tail section, and the cutouts are on the fuselage. So got the four bolts that are already installed with like an adjustable nut, so you can get the right tension. So you put the lock nut where you need it, and then it's in place, and then you push in and push down, and it locks it into place. And then, like I said, the mounting, those wood pieces that I showed you are glued into this area for a mount, basically. And then there's one on the bottom. So they give you the hardware, or like the mounting stuff. They don't give you the actual hardware to do the filled removable tail. They give you the 4 bolts and the nuts for the semi-permanent, but they don't give you the stuff to do the removable tail. You'd have to buy your own hardware. So that's about it. Like I said, the nose is pretty much dry. I'm pretty much out of height, so I got a little bit left. And I could get, no, there's not enough to really do much. So I'm kind of at a standstill as far as gluing. So I got to finish, I just did kind of a tack of the front mount. I still got to do a nice bead around that front bulkhead for the tank. I got to glue this in out here. So you take these 2 pieces here are for they're this basically where you mount your pipe. So, and they give you this piece here, this ply piece with 2 holes cut in it, and it's a template. So you bolt it together like this, and then you set it in the fuselage and glue it. And then when these are dry, you remove this center piece. This is just like a holder to kind of give you the right placement for it. And then you take these little pieces, and they will actually glue kind of like this. They're like a support, but they're at an angle. So you got to put a flat spot at an angle and glue it in. So, and they're kind of like in this area on the sides. So I got to glue that in still. And oh yeah. And I don't know if I'm going to go with this, but you have to glue this in as well. And this is, you put basically an L bend here, and then you run your rod in. It's the locking mechanism for the rudder. I may just put a bolt in there, like I said, because I don't really need to remove this unless I'm doing some kind of maintenance on it. This is more, in my opinion, more of the temporary removal, but we'll see. I may go ahead and just use this. It's kind of a simple thing, and if it works, it works. And that's it. And then everything other than cutting out the nose door and mounting that nose gear, as far as the build goes, it's done. Then the rest is just installing the equipment. So pretty quick build. Had the jet for a little over a week. But I'll shut up. You guys have a good night. And oh yeah, probably won't be building much tomorrow. It's the wife's birthday, so too bad. It's her day. You guys have a good one.